Welcome back, everybody, to another Zelda coin tutorial. So today we're going to be going over the theory using the software Onshape. Onshape is a platform in which you can access on your mobile device, your computer, and even your iPhone, you know? Today I'm on my good old iPad, and we're going to figure everything out. Woo! This is just a tutorial for beginners, so if you want something more in depth, this is probably the video for you. If you're starting out, Onshape is a great platform to do it. So when you open up Onshape, you have the front view, the top view, and right view. That is never, ever, ever going to change. Ever. You know? It's just never going to go away. No matter how hard you try or how hard you want to. But today we're mainly going to be focusing on the front view. I know, the front view. And you can select them, you can undo them, and you always start off with the top and right, with the front. But because we're focusing just on the front view, we want to get rid of the top and right. So we're going to wave bye-bye by just pressing that little I. And you can unpress them for them to reappear, but it's easier and less of a mess if we just focus on the front view today. Now, with that being said, that front view is still at an angle, an isometric angle. So how are we going to do that? Well, I'll tell you. You press the cube, you press front, but you know, you can still move that front view around like that. You know, I'm going up, I'm going down. You know, it's not really good. So you're going to click front again, and you see that little icon in the corner with the lock and the two swizzles? Well, the two arrows. Select it, it should turn yellow, and now your front view is locked. No matter how far in and out I zoom in, it's not going to move, no matter what. So, yeah, that's your front view. Completely. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, you're gonna press that little pencil icon, and there's your sketch features. Today, we're gonna be focusing on our line tool, our center point rectangle, our offset, our equal, and these are your sketch tools and your constraints, you know? So, first things first, we're gonna press the little thing called your center point rectangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that thing on the origin. The origin is the center point of your entire sketch. So you see how I'm going around in a circle and it's automatically bringing me to the origin? Well, that's your origin. Now you can draw this rectangle however big or small you want. It doesn't really matter. And you see how we put it down and those lines are still blue? Well, those lines tell us that the sketch is undefined, which is a massive issue. Massive issue. And I'll show you why. Now, obviously, I gotta deselect the rectangle tool, but, you know, you can shift that still. You know? It can still shift. So how we're going to solve this issue is we're going to select the four lines, and you can tell they're selected because they're turning yellow, and you're going to press equal in our sketch tool down at the bottom. And from there, we can check this through our measure tool, and it tells us its measure of 4.820, and the bottom is 4.820. Woohoo! Woohoo! That means that the theory matches the math, you know, area of a rectangle. And what you're going to do next is you're going to do the dimension tool. You're going to put in a lovely dimension of 5 inches, and it's going to set every single side to 5 inches, no matter. But you notice how we're out of that lock tool now? You're just going to press front plane and you're going to put lock again, you know? Lock it up. And then we're going to just draw a triangle from those edges to the midpoint. And you're probably asking yourself, well, midpoint, why is that important? How can you tell it's the midpoint? So throughout the line, you'll get a little notification where that square is. Wherever that square is, that shows up when you're in the middle of the line is called your midpoint. And so what we're going to do is we're going to connect that midpoint to the other midpoint on the other side. Do the same thing there, midpoint, midpoint, bunch of repetition. We're going to drag the dimension out just for it to look pretty, easier to read, easier for the next person who encounters this part to do, which is amazing. But now we still have an issue. We have 5 entities. That's a big issue in this whole scenario. We only want the 4. Because it's a Zelda coin. It's not, oh, a box. It's a box. It's just a square. So what we're going to do is that we're going to show you how important it is. If you trim one of those entities, it's going to undefine the sketch. And we don't want the undefining, you know? So we want those 2 gone, right? Those 2 are our goal. So we're going to select those 3 lines, you know, like you do. Open up our sketch tools, or just make it into a construction line, you know? So it's one solid entity, and we're gonna finish the sketch eventually. This is a voiceover, by the way. I don't know if you can tell that already. And we're finishing the sketch. Woohoo. 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 I love finishing the sketch. Yay. Anyways, we're going to do our extrude feature. In this feature, we got the extrude, and you're going to select the entities you want to extrude. We're mainly messing with this tool. The sphere is normally where you can find all your extrude features. I'll go more in depth later. And you want to make sure that the extrusion you're doing is a blind. We also want to make sure that it's symmetric because we're doing a equal part. We're doing a coin. And we're going to make the depth of this extrusion 0.3 for this example, which is cool, super cool. And we're going to press OK. And if you can notice that the symmetric plane is cut by, cut this part in the middle. So pretty much it gets divided in half, whatever value you have. Now, if you turn it off, it only goes on one side of the plane. But because we're doing a coin today, we pretty much want it symmetric. You know, we want it symmetric. You know? And so we're going to start a sketch on our front plane again. You know? Because we like repetition. And then we're going to exit out of our sketch tools. We're going to suppress this feature. And pretty much what that does is pretty much does the same thing that we did to our top and right plane, except it's just doing it for any feature that we create in this part. You know, like our extrude. And then we're going to look for the cube with a highlighted edge called use. And use is pretty much a convert entities, like in any software. And pretty much we're going to select the edge. It's going to convert, make a solid line of any feature or sketch. And that's pretty much what we did. We're going to go back into our sketch properties and we're going to press offset. Offset is pretty much just going to offset everything, make it nice and easy, or you mess up like that. You have to be a little careful because if you double tap real quick, it's not going to do well. We're going to reselect that tool, click the edges, uno, dos, tres, 3 sides. And if you press that big arrow, you can switch between which face you actually want it to go. But in this case, we want it outside. So we're going to double click, you know, eventually double click, maybe. Yes, there we go. There we go. And then we're going to drag the dimension out just for the next person to read it better. Good drafting techniques right there. And then we're going to finish the sketch, go into extrude. We're going to do 2 entities, you know. We're going to make it symmetric because it is a coin. And we're going to do 0.125 or 1/8 of an inch, which is super cool, super great. And then we're going to unsuppress the feature. We're going to hide our front view or origin. And that's pretty much it. You have a Zelda coin now. Yeah, I know. It's super cool and it's super even. And you can actually 3D print this if you actually try, you know? And the cool thing about putting it in the isometric view like I just did is that it shows you your starting point and how like those planes interact and everything. And it shows us that the part is made in the center. So it's great. It's wonderful. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what you would like me to make next. This is just a basic CAD tutorial, like I said. We have another video that isn't as in-depth as this one. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Woo, woo, woo. See ya. Bye.